A very special guest. I've got to thank Kenny McClellan for coming in to see us, who is, well, I was a fan back in the day. We were talking about you were going to France and everything. You were going to France and basically busking for your meal ticket back in those days.
Yep.
And then obviously you came back.
Yeah.
So you guys, was it all Greenock you're from?
All from Greenock.
All from Greenock, yeah. Because a lot of people
yep.
say you're from Glasgow. I'm like, no, it was Greenock.
All
all Greenock, born and bred.
Yes, aye.
So you came back. Now, was obviously the record companies interested? Were they showing a little bit of interest back then?
It just seemed to be because of the Stray Cats bust on the scene. And this kind of rockabilly, rock and roll sound seemed to be it's just a resurgence of that music at the time, which got very popular through the Stray Cats in the UK.
Sure.
And I think because we were kind of rock and roll ourselves, or acoustic.
You wouldn't class yourself as rockabilly back then, would you?
No, not really. We were big fans of kind of Dave Edmunds, the Everly Brothers. We did like we were listening to a lot of 50s type of rock and roll stuff, Carol Perkins and the early Elvis stuff, and we just liked the raw, broken down sound, you know. Just loved the music, you know.
So that was that what you were listening to yourself?
At that time, that's what we were listening to, you know. And then it was always just a kind of, I think, in the right place at the right time. What happened was, you know, when Ali, as I said earlier, like Ali got us into a recording studio, the drummer at the Cuban Hills, and so that's done the first single, Reefer Billy Boogie. I went to the Record of the Week in the NME.
Was this on Virgin?
This is pre-Virgin.
Oh, is this pre-Virgin?
This was on Ali's. It was on Cuba
Libre
Records.
That's right. Yeah.
This was Ali's label. You see.
Okay.
So he got together with the Cuban Hills managers and formed. It was Cuba Libre Records, and they got a distribution deal with Virgin Records. You know, and so the Cuban Hills were on that. Record label, and we were on it.
Okay.
You know?
And then eventually the rest is history, because you went down and you started doing a lot of gigs. People were wanting you. You also, I saw you. Obviously, there's a live album going about the Shaking Pyramids, Kelvin Grove Park. Which back in the old days of Radio Clyde's 261, you did a gig for them. And you can see it all on YouTube now. Everyone all bopping away at the time. You know, it must have fond memories for you.
It was great. Loved it. You know. We actually just come back for the day before we come back from Poland. We'd done a tour out there.
Right.
And that was interesting. And it was
especially back then.
Oh, definitely. Man, this is when the curfews was on.
Okay.
Lech Walesa.
Yes.
You know the people were wanting change.
Of course.
And it was just a strange experience. You know, it was really. This was really strange, you know. There wasn't all this, you know. You would see newsreels at the time, you know. A lot of people, you know, you're going to shops and they're all empty and they're all queuing up for, you know, for bread and stuff. And
sure.
And you know, we were staying in fancy hotels and all this, and I thought.
So were you gigging at night?
Oh, every night.
Okay. And busy, sellouts,
Oh, it was all sold out.
Wow.
It was these big venues where they were there for a fortnight. The tour lasted. It's the strangest experience. It really was, you know. I mean, I always remember we were staying at a hotel in Warsaw. We were living in one night, and in the morning it was like it was bizarre, you know. It's like, you know, you were eating your breakfast.
Right.
And there was like people on motorcycles and fire eaters and stuff. This was all happening at your breakfast time. It was
entertainment for your breakfast.
Aye, it was really bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, it was bizarre.
Incredible.
It was, you know, in a particular.
When was this? 1981. 81. This was 81. Yeah.
Yep. One thing I remember the very first show. See, the first. I'm trying not to go too left field. what I'm trying to say is that we had a bass player with us.
Yes, because there's only 3 of you back in the day.
That's right.
You know, obviously Davey, yourself, acoustic guitarist, and Jim as well.
That's right.
You didn't have a drummer either, or a bass player.
No, didn't use drums.
No.
Well, Davey used to play a snare.
He did, yes.
And a floor
Saw
tom.
that.
Like a snare and a floor tom.
He played that along with Lonnie Gordon, if I remember right.
Aye, Lonnie Donegan.
Lonnie Donegan,
that's right,
not Lonnie
yeah.
Gordon, it's another singer. Slightly different.
But we
Lonnie
had. See, I'll cut back to the Polish story.
Yeah.
Well, what it is, the very, very, very first tour we done was for Richard Branson, and he asked us to tour all the Virgin record shops. And what happened when we're in London, a double bass player jumped out the crowd, and it was Preston.
Okay.
From Dixon, Tennessee, right?
Wow.
And he knew every song. He knew all the songs. He just automatically, right away, right in, first song, away he went.
Start slapping the bass.
No bother. He knew everything we'd done. And then we thought, hey man, this guy's good, you know. We asked him and he just joined the band.
Okay.
But so that's when we went to Poland, you see. And going back to the first show in Poland, which was you know, what happened was when we're on stage, I think it was a theatre, maybe about 500 people or so, and the army was up the back of the people.
Okay.
So what happened? We started playing away, and their music is kind of dance, you know. It's kind of, it gets people up and moving.
You want to tap your feet to it.
You do, you know.
Of course you do.
So what happened was it was all a young audience. The next minute, what happened was somebody got up off their seat, and the army ran down and pushed them and made them sit down, you know. And we were just kind of playing away. But Preston, the Yank guy, he was kind of pretty gung-ho.
All right.
So he put his bass down, and he ran down and pushed the army guy out the way. And we're thinking, hold on a minute here, no. So what happened then was the whole crowd all got up on their feet.
Right.
Everyone.
Right.
And then they all ran to the stage. So we were...
And you're all playing away at the time?
This is the first gig, and I'm thinking, what's going on? So what happened, but I'm a big guy, 6'6",
Yeah.
and what happened, they proceeded to grab Davey and Jim, and they were throwing them up in the air and catching them. It's so bizarre, honestly.
Incredible.
And Preston, because they were
incredible.
average height guys, you know, but me, they just kind of,
So obviously, so you came back, played the gig, Kelvin Grove Park, and so when did you actually sign for Virgin at the time? Was that running about?
Well, already.
You just signed then?
We were just we were just signed
Were
a
you
few months
promoting the
before.
album at the time? Was this the Skin 'Em Up album?
Promoting the album.
Yeah, and going on to you also, and I saw you play. You supported Shakin' Stevens.
We did.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember having an argument with someone. I was like, no way, he's Shakin'. But I goes, I'm telling you, I can't remember where I saw you.
It's about 18 dates we done with
Shakin' Stevens. Where was it?
His backing band was fantastic.
Oh, were they?
Oh man,
really?
It was Mickey G on the guitar, Garen Watkins on the piano. They're fantastic players. So the backing band was fantastic.
So obviously,
and nice guys.
Obviously, at this time, so Scotland's got its own. How would you pigeonhole your style? Because you're not really rockabilly. A bit of skiffle's in there as well, isn't it?
Aye, well, definitely.
Yeah, there's that. That's in there. You know, you want to put under the blanket of rock and roll.
No,
but yeah, you had your extremes, as I say. The Stray Cats were they were kicking about as well. They were massive
done a
at the
support
time.
with Stray Cats.
Did you support the Cats?
Aye, the very, very first gig.
I saw the Cats at Tiffany's in 1981.
Aye. We were there that night.
Were you there?
I'm sure we. What did we?
Who was the band?
No, I'm sorry. I take that back. The very first show.
The Barracudas supported them. That's who it was.
Aye.
Remember them?
We done a kind of Christmas thing. It was we just got signed up to Virgin, and Branson owned a place called the Venue. It was a Victoria bus station.
Yeah, London.
In London,
Yeah,
it's a big venue. It was a cracking venue.
Yeah.
And it was a Christmas show. We're just signed up, and they asked us to come down. And I think Madness was playing, the Stray Cats. I can't remember who else. There was a few acts on that night, and ourselves, you know. And then we heard the Stray Cats that night. God, man, they were really fantastic band.
They were good
live.
too.
Oh man.
I had the great pleasure interviewing them. Interviewed them at Brixton Academy.
Oh, did you? We played there as well.
Did you do Brixton Academy?
Yep, we did.
Incredible.
And I've heard this. I'm not wanting to kind of name drop.
No.
But what happens?
I like that.
You know, we played Brixton Academy, and what happened? Do you know who turned up to see us? We couldn't believe it. They come in to see us. The Clash.
Wow, Joe Strummer.
A whole lot.
The whole lot of them.
Band.
Mick Jones, a lot.
Saying
Everything.
they loved your sound, and we thought, God, we can't have it.
So you were three guys for Greenock, and you're just like, this is all happening.
But this is when we Preston knew as well. He was on board.
Got you.
He was some guitar player, man.
Was he really?
Oh, you wouldn't have heard this guy play the guitar, you know. Oh, he was, because he came from Dixon, Tennessee, and he's been playing since a wee kid, and he's brought up in that music we love, you know, the kind of Americana rock and roll.
Did he just appear in the first album, Preston?
He's not ever played in any of the albums.
Has he not?
No, he's not played in any.
So who did your bass for you in the albums?
It was on the first album. It was Nick Clark, who the bass player out the Cuban Heels.
Right.
He played the double bass on that first album.
Do you ever dabble yourself, being a guitarist, bass?
I've done some. Basically, what I'll do is see when we're recording demos and stuff.
Yes.
I maybe do a wee tiny bit of bass.
Right.
But not a lot of bass. No, I try to just to try.
Never the slap bass.
No. I've tried it, but
sore fingers.
It's like going on a bike, you know. You've just got to work at it.
Going back again to the Stray Cats, the guy Lee Rocker, his name was a slap bass guy. He used to balance at his back and everything. His fingers, honestly, I've never seen. It's just all raw at the top. They're that solid. Obviously slapping it, he had to, he taped them up as well.
That's right. That's what Preston used to do. Put gaffer tape.
Yeah, put them round. That's right. Because of they hit that hard.
Yeah, well, I know.
So the Shaking Pyramids at the time, so we're 1981, you kind of got into, you know, you're on tour, you're very successful, you had a couple of hits as well, you're appearing, I saw you as well, you appeared also on a lot of television programmes as well, you were on the Pebble Mill as well, back in the day, a lot of other programmes, also people are asking you to do different things, you're very popular, it's all happening, obviously you did the whole UK tour as well, on your own as well. I know you said you supported Shakin' Stevens, but you did your own tour.
That's right.
Also back then.
Yep.
And then...
we went to America. It was mainly, we're playing more in America and Canada than what we were in the UK. We've done a lot of tours out there.
So you got a record deal as well with them in America?
We did. What happened? Well, obviously it was a worldwide deal with through Virgin, you know.
Yeah, got it.
And what happened, we get dropped by Virgin in 82, and then we get picked up by Scotty Brothers, who were a subsidiary of CBS Records, and we were them for a couple of years, you know.
Got you. Because you were big in France, loves all the rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
Massive in France, in Germany, and you know.
I've never got to Germany. I wish we did. I never got to Germany. I think we got to Norway, Sweden, France.
Did you like being on the road?
I loved it.
Oh, did you?
I loved it.
Yeah, never homesick at all. Not Miss Greenock.
I'd see. I think my particular, it suits my nature because it's like I've always wondered what's over the hill all the time. You know, I always like to see new things and see new places and. You know, see how just new cultures and you know, I just love it. You know,
of course. So you then did that. The second album came out, Celts and Cobra came out. You had a couple of minor hits with that as well. And then obviously you moved away from Virgin. So what happened? Because I started looking for you through the Twilight years. Did you just because of the 90s? Did you do anything around the 90s? Nothing.
No, the band officially finished up in about 1985.
Right.
I would say it was just basically.
So what were you doing, Kenny? Were you still playing the odd gig, or just chucking yourself?
I didn't. You know, when it kind of finished, you know, it's just basically. You know what? Sorry, Gus. I'm just trying to think. I'm thinking back. Just come back a few years, you know. Basically, I come back together, back home. Just some local musicians just kind of sitting playing.
Got you.
Just to keep. I didn't want to stop playing the guitar completely, you know. And believe it or not, I actually took up. You'll not believe this. I took up the mandolin.
Right.
And the size of me, man, Peter. You know, I didn't even know how I could play it. Oh, it was a wee tiny thing.
Yeah.
But I thought I was getting put off the guitar a bit, so I went on this mandolin, and then I thought it was just wee jigs and reels, and I learned to read music. I just, you know, I thought, well, if I'm learning this mandolin, I learn to read the music as well, because, you know, because we used to in the day when I was learning guitar, I used to put on a record, and you put the record on and keep repeating a wee part till you got that wee part. You know, that's what we used to learn. A lot of people did it that way.
Go by the ear, basically.
By ear,
yeah,
you know.
By ear.
So I thought, well, these wee jigs and reels they're really fast, and they're really short.
Right.
And I said, I can't be bothered saying that's for a record. So I said, the easiest way is to learn to read the notes. So I read the notes and stuff. And then what happened was I always kept in touch with Davy Duncan.
Right.
And Davy and myself have always kind of periodically through the years to the present day, I've always kind of got together, you know, just to do a wee bit of writing.
Did you ever do a live gig together? Did that ever happen?
We did. Well, I'm forgetting. We put together a band. I'm just, you know, I went way back after the Pyramids. I got together with Davy, Alec Galloway from Greenock, and then we got, excuse me, a double bass player who toured in America with us, a guy called Davy Rivet, from London. Davy done some tours, American tours with us, and we got Davy Rivet involved, and we put together this band called the Rhinestone Rattlesnakes.
Great name. Great name.
So, and what we did was we went up and done a wee demo in Glasgow. I think 2 or 3 songs, and then we were invited to do a TV show in RTE in Southern Ireland.
Yeah, in Ireland, yeah.
And about 3 gigs. But then we just come back, and then all went back to kind of day jobs.
Got you.
And it just
drifted away again.
Drifted away again. So it's really, I think what's the involvement of this new album now is basically.
Well, this is what I want to talk about. So you were kind of bringing ourselves up to date now. So the Veloninos, okay.
Yeah.
How did this come about? Were you just all sitting down one day?
Well, it's a combination of basically. You know how you were asking me earlier about, you know, we're going to reform the Shaking Pyramids.
Yes.
But it didn't happen. You know,
Right.
it's one thing or another. Just life just got
Absolutely,
in the way.
yeah.
And some of the songs have came from that period.
Okay.
And then what happens when you get involved with Laurie Cuff, who was ex Cuban Hills.
Yeah.
So Laurie come down, and then we went into a wee studio and we just started laying these tracks down.
Where was this recorded?
It was
Glasgow?
recorded in Greenock.
And Greenock?
Yep,
Studios there, yeah?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So that's really how it came together. Is that?
No, this is good because. So with the album, are you going to be doing something? And you played Merchant City Festival just at Blackfriars.
We did.
You played the Blackfriars stage
yes,
last year.
Yep.
Merchant City Festival. Any plans to do anything this year with the rest of the guys?
So far I think we've got 1 gig so far coming up, and that's in the Glad Cafe in June.
Right.
You know,
where's the Glad Cafe? Is that London?
No, it's in Shawlands.
Shawlands. Oh, I know we are. Aye. Yes.
Aye, yeah. So we played there before. I think it was last year or the year before. I can't remember. We liked it. You know, it's not a big venue. It's not small. It's
just right.
150 people or so it holds. So we've booked that place to play there, and that presently at the moment, Gus, is what we're doing is we're just concentrating. We've got a load of songs still, you see.
So there's more to this?
There's more, there's a lot more.
So there could be another album then?
Oh, there definitely
there is. Oh, brilliant.
There's going to be definitely another album before the end of the year.
Okay.
So we're just kind of concentrating and getting these other songs together. We've got some new songs, and we're just really concentrating on the writing and recording.
Okay.
With a view of doing more live gigs.
Which is a single from this, or do you have a single that
you're promoting? Not really a single on it.
Because I've just been playing. I've been playing Alabama Man, and I've been playing Leaving Grove Park on the breakfast show. Yes. So I quite like those two anyway.
Yes.
But you know, if there's anything else we can play for it, we'll certainly play it.
Well, I've never really thought about a single. You know,
because you know, there's always something that kind of stands out more towards the album as opposed to just an album track.
I think it's because, you know, I've been involved in the recording side and doing a bit of production, co-production with the
Do you
guys.
find it easier now? The production back in the day, it's so much easier to do.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, as opposed to
The
splicing
tools
tapes back in the day.
Oh, I know. Especially when the tape stretches.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what done man out in the
But
past.
now
you know?
you don't
Aye.
need a double bass player. You can add that in at a later stage. It's
Aye,
all
you
that.
can, yeah.
You know, you can.
But
You know,
you can't be. You know, you're totally right.
You know,
You're
because
totally
people
right.
put, you know, I speak to loads of artists, you know, and then they can have a full band behind them.
Oh, aye, I've
They
heard
just
that.
lay down their vocal.
I know.
It's incredible.
I
know.
love the. I love the real thing, though. You know,
Of course, you can't capture that.
You know, you can. There is. You can actually some simulations. You know, like you see with drums and basses and stuff, but there's real things.
Absolutely.
Just a lot better.
Listen,
you know?
Kenny, it's been an absolute pleasure
Yeah.
talking to you. Just to let you know, the Veleninos album, you can get this. If you go to the Veleninos website, you can download it from there, I take it?
Yes, you can.
If you want a hard copy for the CD, can
Yeah.
you order it on the website as well?
You can
That's
order,
all
yep,
there.
yep,
I know you've got someone else
Aye.
doing your social media. You're on
Yep.
Facebook, you're on
Yep.
Twitter, you're on
That's right.
Instagram,
That's
you're
right.
everywhere now.
Aye.
Because it is very important, you know.
Oh, definitely. It's the way.
This is the new way, as opposed
Oh.
to putting posters up on
Aye.
walls and,
I know,
you know, you'd
I
get
know.
a little...
It's a big change, isn't it?
It's a massive change, and the good thing is we're not restricted. We can play anything here at Pulse. That's why this came about. Let's get this on. Getting radio play must be very difficult these days.
Aye,
You know,
it is. You
with
know,
certain
especially if you've not got a record deal as such. You
Yeah.
know.
Because it sometimes hacks me off. There's something like Radio Clyde is not the way Radio Clyde is now. It's like Clyde
Right.
1 and Clyde 2, and they'll not break a new artist. They've actually said that. And other stations out there, like Capital and Smooth.
Yeah.
But so the likes of us, you know, you're dropping down to kind of the smaller. We've now become the official local stations now. I know you have had other radio airplay as well.
Yeah, yep.
TD1 have been playing it.
Yep.
I gave it to good friends of ours at Black Diamond FM over in Edinburgh.
All right.
So they've got
Oh.
it as well. So they've been
Magic,
playing
you know.
it. So
I mean, it's you know, I'm really happy with. See, we've been getting you're talking about, there's all these wee small record stations, but we're getting
Yeah.
it in America and Canada
see,
and
that's what happens.
Australia and
Yeah.
France, and I'm on it, you know, and I think the feedback we've got through the social media
You
has
must
been.
be happy with the feedback. I looked at a lot of your.
Oh, I know,
incredible.
man. I really. It,
Good for the ego.
oh man, it's good. And we think, well, maybe our stuff isn't that bad at all. You know,
Stuff's not bad. It
you know?
stuff's terrific.
You know, so I'm looking forward to this new recordings, and you know, there's still good stuff to come. You know.
Do you
know?
still play some Pyramid tracks live, or do you leave
We
that alone?
haven't. We just left it
Just
alone.
left that alone.
Just left it alone.
Because Jim
it's
not
just
been there.
aye.
Yeah. Right.
It wouldn't. It's not the same. You know.
Yeah.
It's because Jim's not there. You
Sure.
know. It's a different band, you know. Although it's two members, only with three
There's
members.
only three of you, exactly.
There's two years are in this band.
Yeah.
I'm really, you know, the playing. You know, no disrespect to Jim. Jim's a great guitar player. Laurie Cuff, his guitar playing, I tell you, man, he's some player.
So we can see you playing the full album then in June in Shawlands.
Aye, oh
Yeah.
aye, yeah, oh aye.
Listen,
It'd probably be some of that album, some new songs, you
All
know.
right, okay.
You know, that's the way we'll probably do it, you know. Because we like to try out the new songs and just see what the reaction is, and you know, and we don't use drums live. We don't use drums.
just bass.
It's just the bass,
Just
the
the
acoustics, and electric guitar. We don't.
Wow.
We don't bother with the drums.
Don't need a drummer.
But, you know. You know.
Listen, Kenny,
Aye,
thank you so
aye.
much for talking to us and taking the time to come and see us here at
No
Pulse.
hassle,
I
Gus.
wish you every success because
Aye.
I love this album.
Oh, brilliant,
and listen,
mate,
some
thank
of the
you.
guys, a guy after me as well,
Aye.
Andy Lindsay's been playing it as well. He loves it as well.
No hassle,
And
Gus.
we'll come along and see you in June.
Oh, brilliant.
All right,
Brilliant,
we'll
mate.
keep obviously with your social media.
Oh, aye,
find
yeah.
out what's going on there. Obviously, more gigs
Yeah.
and everything as well will
Yeah.
be added on to that as well. Kenny, absolute pleasure.
Aye.
Thank you very much indeed. Kenny McClellan.